Hey guys, this is Devashish and you are watching C programming tutorial. In last videos, we discussed about array and we practice simple example by using array. In this video, we discuss what is multidimensional array. That means 2D array and 3D array. So in this video, we discuss how to declare 2-dimensional array, 3-dimensional array and how to use these multidimensional arrays in C programming. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe Techjee, press the bell icon to get all the notification and future updates. Okay, so let's start. Multidimensional array. In this tutorial, you will learn to work with multidimensional arrays, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional arrays with the help of example. Okay, so we practice easy example to understand how to use 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional arrays. In C programming, you can create an array of arrays. So in C programming, we can create the array inside array by using nested for loops. These arrays are known as multidimensional arrays. So you have to remember what is multidimensional array. So if we create one array that is inside of another array, this array is called multidimensional array. Structure of 2D array. So we have to know what is the structure of 2-dimensional array. First we declare the data type, then array name. After that, number of rows and number of columns inside third bracket that indicates the size of this array. Here is one example of 2D array. You can see that I declare the 2-dimensional array in this way. First declare the data type, that is integer type, then name of the array, that is x, and the size of this array. The number of row is 3 and number of column is 4. Okay, so in this way we declare the 2-dimensional array. Next, so what is the arrangement of this 2-dimensional array, or how it is looked at, how it is look like. Okay, so we declare the number of row equals to 3 and number of column equals to 4. In this picture you see that here the number of rows equals to 3, 1, 2 and 3, and number of column equals to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the first row and the first column is x 0 0, next 0 1, 0 2, 0 3. This is the arrangement of 2-dimensional array. Basically the 2-dimensional array, all the values storing inside this array are arranged in this way. Here x is a 2-dimensional array. The array can hold 12 elements. How you know how much amount of element it can hold? Simply you just multiply the number of row with the number of column. Here the number of row is 3 and number of column is 4. So 3 into 4 equals to 12. So you can easily understand what is the amount of element one 2-dimensional array can hold. So in this array it can hold 12 elements. You can think array as a table with 3 rows and each row has 4 columns. So here you see that the first row has 4 columns. Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. In this way, row 2 has 4 columns and row 3 has 4 columns. So total 12 elements can store in this 2-dimensional array. So if we want to store a big number of elements, we use 2-dimensional array. Next, initialization of multidimensional array. So how we can initialize the value or element of multidimensional array. Here is how you can initialize 2-dimensional arrays. So there are 3 different ways to initialize the value of 2-dimensional array. First way is that you just declare the array, that is integer c 2 and 3 or 2 cross 3, and you put the second bracket here. Inside the second bracket you just divide 2 parts. These 2 parts are indicate 2 columns, column 1 and column 2. In column 1 we initialize the values of row, that is the first value of row 1 is 1, then 3, then 0, and the value of second row of first column is -1, then 5 and then 9. In this way we can declare or initialize the value of 2-dimensional array. So whenever we use the second bracket here, the system or compiler becomes know that we use 2 row here because we use the column values separately. So it is not necessary to declare the value of rows, but you have to declare the value of column, that is 3. In another way, you can also declare the value of a second dimensional array, that is integer c 2 cross 3. So you initialize all the value inside second bracket. We put the second bracket here one time and declare all this value. It's automatically stored the first 3 value in the first row and next 3 value in the second row. So I hope you understand how to initialize all the value of multidimensional array, or especially 2-dimensional array. Next, now one example of third dimensional array or 3D array. It is rarely used, but you have to know what is the structure and how to initialize the 3D array. Third dimensional array declaration is almost similar with 2-dimensional array, but there is one extra thing, that is one extra dimensional we have to add. First we declare the data type, that is integer, then the array name, that is x, and then we put all the dimension, that is 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so what is the amount it can hold? That is 2 cross 3 cross 4, that is 24. Okay, so here the array, that is x, can hold 24 elements. So how we get this 24 value? 2 cross 3 cross 4. Next, initialization of third dimensional array. You can initialize a third dimensional array in a similar way like a 2-dimensional array. Okay, it is almost similar. We just put the data type, that is integer type, then put the array name, that is test, and put all the dimension, that is 2 cross 3 cross 4. We initialize all the values of this 3-dimensional array. Here you see that the first dimension is 2. So you can also see I use 3 second bracket here. This second bracket and this second bracket is the opening and close bracket, and inside this bracket we declare the columns, that is this is one column, that is one column, that is another column. So all these 4 values inside second bracket are columns, and 3 individual columns make one row, and these 3 rows make one dimension. That is, here the first dimension is 2, here is the first dimension, and the next value is there. I hope you understand how to initialize 3-dimensional array. It is basically used to store a huge amount of element inside one single array. Next, write a program of 3 cross 3 matrix by using array and display all the elements. So in this program we have to write one code that store all the values in a matrix, that is 3 cross 3, and after storing all the values it can display us the value we have stored. So first we include our header file stdio.h, then we assign the main function. Inside the main function we declare our array, that is integer type x 3 cross 3. So the first 3 is the number of row and next 3 is the number of column. 3 cross 3 means number of row equals to 3 and number of column equals to 3. Then we initialize to variable, that is I and j, and print one message that enter all the value of this matrix. Here we use nested loop, that means a loop inside one another loop. So the first loop we declare is for row and the next loop is for column. So suppose the value of I is initialized for number of rows and the value of j is initialized for the number of columns. So the inner loop is executed until the condition is satisfied. Whenever the condition is reached, it just increment the outer loop, that is for row. Okay, so every time it just storing all the values of columns, and whenever all the value of column is fulfilled, it just put the value to the next row by increment the value of I, and each and every time it store all the values by using scanf function. Here we put %d because we initialize the data type is integer, and ampersand xij because this is the value of row and column. So in this way we store all the values, and now this time is to display the value we have stored. Okay, so put one message. In this way we becomes no, it displaying us all the values. So display the values of this matrix, and in the similar way we put this nested loop or 2 loops here which we use to store all the values inside this matrix. and it fetch or retrieve all the values we store inside the memory location, okay, by using x, I, j. So I is for row and j is for column, and we print all the values. After print all the values of columns, you just go to the next line by using printf/n, displaying all the values we store inside this matrix. Last, return 0. Okay, so I hope you understand how to write a 3x3 matrix. This matrix is very much useful. Please practice this code. Okay, now we write this code. Here you see that I write this code inside devc. Now compile this code. So here is no error and warning. Now run this code. So it asked me enter all the values of matrix. So I just put all the values. So there are total 9 values I have to enter because 3x3 means there are total 9 elements. Okay, so let's input all the values. I starting from 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So you can see that I enter the value starting from 1 to 9 because there are 9 elements. Now I enter, it display me all the values I enter in a matrix form. There are 3 rows and 3 columns. You see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we successfully compile and run this code. I hope you understand how to write 3x3 matrix. So I hope you understand this code, how to write this code. Please practice all this code yourself. In this way, you can easily understand how to write this code very easily. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe Techjee, press the bell icon to get all the notification and future updates. Thank you.